Fist flying, no bounds. Podcast kings, we pound for pound. UFC thrills, stills nights get loud. Big EQP, that's how we get down.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the GRP. Back at it again on a Sunday. Podcast number 4 in a matter of like a week, I think. But hey, thanks for jumping in, and thanks for continuing to come back, guys. I appreciate you. Thank you, Antoine. That means a lot, man. I appreciate that. Tyler Fish, what's up, man? Welcome in. Appreciate you for coming back as well. 78 Northwest, hey, happy Easter to you as well. Great show with you, Infinity. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I mean, it was a rough start. Of course, I try to feature something different, and you know, things go a little whack. As you can see, I fixed the chat. It's fixed. My biggest problem was I didn't have enough time. You know, between the show Thursday, I had stuff to do right after the show. Went to bed, got up, went to work. Had very little time to try to figure it out. But the Braves lost today. I haven't tracked anything today, so damn. To the Diamondbacks, yeah, I knew they were playing them. So yeah, that sucks. That's all right. I think they won most of that series, right? Because I felt like they've been in that series for a minute. But yeah, I hope everyone's had a good Easter so far today, or had a good Easter today. Yeah, yesterday, or I'm sorry, Friday, the podcast, like, the start was rough. It is what it is. That's part of being live. Like I said, I mean, it's foolproof on, just me doing things on my own and trying to get things done. I knew I should have waited till it was like a full on clear day. I should have just done it next week on Wednesday, because I tried to rush everything. I had a lot going on this weekend, or this week in general, I should say. Because yeah, I had all my prep done early, because I went to a show with my wife that she wanted to see on Wednesday, which was actually fun. It was not something I thought I'd be interested in, but it turned out to, I was just going for my wife, just to hang out with her and, keep her company while she gets to see a show she wants to see. But it turned out to actually be okay. It wasn't bad at all. So the past 2 times I've gone just for her, and it's turned out to be okay. So I mean, it's kind of comedy type shows. So it's not far from what I would normally want to see anyway. But sometimes it's just not. What's up, Infinity? Yeah, you're welcome, babe. She doesn't ask for much a lot of times. So when I can do something like that, I mean, all I'm doing is going and having some drinks and hanging out. I mean, it's not a big deal. But at the same time, she puts up with a lot for me and sacrifices for me. So I gotta do the same for sure, and I'm happy to do it, because I get to be with her and hang out, and we get a night to just do whatever. So it was fun. But yeah, last week was a little bit hectic, and I should have waited. We should have just waited till next week to do the podcast, but it's all good. It came out good. I felt good about it. I appreciate all of you guys for being in there and supporting me and asking questions and stuff, and all the kind words. Thank you guys. I'll always continuously be grateful for you guys just hanging out with the show and hanging in there and contributing and, keeping me going with the show. So, yeah, it was definitely fun. Appreciate you as well, Infinity, for heading that up and hosting it and asking the questions and getting it going. So, life's been okay. Just, coming up with, these next couple months are going to be crazy with my daughter leaving. Work is getting hectic. There might be a lot of out of town work actually coming up soon, and so you guys might see me with a different background and some different equipment in front of me. But neither. She's going to live with her boyfriend that is got a very good job opportunity. So they're relocating for his job, and they've been together for quite a while, and they're pretty good together. So she's leaving to be with him, and they've been wanting to move out and move in together anyway, so this just kind of forced the plan a little faster, but it's all good. So yeah, it's work's gonna be crazy coming up soon, and yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, especially because we got these these just weeks leading into taking her, and that's gonna be rough as well. So but yeah, for sure. I mean, we'll be all right. Just a lot more traveling than normal because we're gonna want to go visit. They're gonna want to come visit, all that stuff. So it'll be all right. We'll make it work. We'll make it happen. I'm trying to leave everything. I'm trying to not think about it too much until it comes time, and then yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But we'll miss the hell out of her, and I'm happy for her. Like I said before, it's kind of bittersweet. So yeah. Besides that, though, nothing else. It's just we had a kind of surprising card last night. I was talking it down a lot on Thursday, and I was just thinking this is just one of those Apex cards that we're gonna have to get through and to get us to UFC 327. And no, it was actually interesting, entertaining. There was a lot of finishes, which is what we always look for. I don't give a shit if nobody's getting knocked out, but to get finishes as in submissions and stuff, that makes me happy too. I don't necessarily need a bloodbath or a knockout, but to get finishes is what I like in general, because it just makes it more interesting. Jandiroba looked bad in appearance and in the fight. Yeah, unfortunately, Tabitha Ricci couldn't get it done because would have been nice to see the one that looks good all the way around to actually get that win. But no, I mean, Jandiroba's got some skills. It's just it didn't seem like the best of fights. But yeah, and then we find out, I don't know if you guys heard, but Joshua Van's out of the fight next week for UFC 327. I'm assuming it's an injury, but I didn't catch really why he was out. So it got moved to 328. Okay, I saw that, but I wasn't sure if that was legit because I couldn't find an actual legit source. And then I thought I did, and then I stopped paying attention. So I figured somebody would know here. There was a crazy knockout, and yeah. Oh, I did see the knockout though. What was that guy's name? Started with an R. Something the third, right? That guy got knocked out cold. That shit was nuts. They said it in the broadcast. It's on the Chimaev card. Oh, they said it on the broadcast. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I was watching the the fucking U of A game. U of A just ate shit and is out of the tournament. So that was whack. They lost to Michigan, and it wasn't a great game at all. It was shitty, actually. So that sucked. And I was watching that game and hanging out and eating dinner and having some drinks with friends while we were all watching the game. And so yeah, I was watching it on my phone, and then I went back and watched, but I didn't catch all the in-between broadcast shit. So that's the only time I hate when I don't listen to the broadcast stuff, because sometimes you miss things like that. So I kept seeing posts about it, but I didn't know for sure. And then today was a day full of prep work and doing stuff around the house, and a just busy day. What do you think the timeline would have looked like if Khamzat got an immediate title shot against Izzy in 2020? He would have beaten Izzy easily, in my opinion. In 2020, I don't know if he would have beaten Izzy easily, but maybe. Do you think he would have beaten Jone in light heavyweight in 2021? I think he probably could have beat. I don't know, because Jone. Yeah, but Jan drops fights to guys that he shouldn't drop fights to. So, yeah, I think it would have been interesting. I don't personally think that Khamzat would have beaten Izzy handily in 2020. Today, yes. Last year, probably. 2020, I don't know. Vettori took down Izzy and took his back, so I think Khamzat would have beaten Izzy even in 2020. So I feel like 2020 was a time that I think Izzy would have really buckled down and changed something if he would have had to fight somebody like Khamzat. But then again, well, I think it's a little bit too late for him to change those things. Maybe he just doesn't have those skills in him. You know what I mean? Maybe he just doesn't have it in him to master those kind of skills, because you can't do it overnight. You can't even do it in a few years a lot of times, but you can get better regardless. So maybe, you know what? You might be right. You might be right. It's unfortunate, but you might be right. I just think that he would have found in 2020, I think he would have found a better way to not get handled quickly and easily by someone like Khamzat. But who knows? I just feel like that was a while back, and I feel like Izzy was a little more competitive back then. So, but yeah, sucks for the U of A. So that was shitty, and we had some good food and had a good time watching with friends and stuff, and then yeah, we just came home after that because it was just kind of depressing. Actually, that's not true. We did stop and get another drink somewhere because we met up my other daughter and we went and had another drink. So that was fine, but nothing crazy. And yeah, other than that, I rewatched some of the fights today, caught up with some highlights on a lot of the other ones. I did watch the first half of the prelims like live because that was before things went down and I had to leave. But yeah, some good fights, man. I was just happy that there was a lot of finishes. That's, again, that's something that everybody looks for. And like I said, for me, it's not just about knockouts and stuff. And, the submissions are great too. I just like seeing somebody get a clear and legitimate finish. Those aren't always that way either, but it's more clear and definitive sometimes when you get just a finish. So, but decision fights can get crazy and be fight of the nights, and that happens too. So it's a toss up and a mix up everywhere, and you can't really count anything out these days because the UFC's turned it around a little bit right now. The second everybody starts downing on the UFC, which even Renato Moicano said it, about in his post-fight speech, because I did see that, talking about fighting in the Apex sucks and he shouldn't be there, and why is he fighting this guy? It doesn't mean anything if he gets a win. He's not wrong, but he's coming off of 2 losses. 2 losses to 2 big names, one of which was a title fight. I get it, but I feel like, listen, man, you're on a 2-fight losing streak. You needed to snap that. This is almost they almost did you a favor. But I don't think Chris Duncan was an easy fighter to get past. But I feel like they almost did him a favor, not giving him like the highest of level of matchups. You know what I mean? So I don't know why. He was just on another level. We'll talk about it more when we get there. I am changing up the process of how I'm gonna recap the fights, because I feel like so much so sometimes people come and want to hear about the main card and the main event a little bit quicker than waiting till the end of the show. And while that might benefit me for people to either leave and come back or watch all the way through, I feel like I'm gonna put the main card stuff first when we start recapping, so it'll go from the first fight on the main card to the main event, and then we'll track back to the prelims and talk about those after. A lot of times the prelims are kind of running through. That'll just give us an extra little bit of time to talk about the main card and stuff like that, and the main events a little bit more, so it doesn't feel like so far away. And I might do that with the previews as well, just to kind of put it in the middle. I feel like it fits a little better there. And I've been thinking about doing this for a minute, and I pulled the trigger on it today, and that's how I prepped. So that's what we'll be doing. We'll go over the main card first. We'll start with the first fight on the main card and work our way to the main event, and then we'll hit up the prelims. So hopefully everybody's cool with that. I feel like that might be better, because everyone's asking questions anyway about main event and main card stuff before we even get there. So yeah, I think that's a good way to do it. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy that as well. So before we get too far, I'm gonna try to see if I can get a nice little wake me up from these Noctane smelling salts. My sponsor, of course, Noctane. I didn't hit them up while we were yeah, no doubt. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. I didn't do them while we were on the podcast the other day. I was a little frustrated, and I was just like, you know what? New viewer. Oh, hey, Aussie. Thanks for jumping in. Aussie Glizzy. That's hilarious. That's a great name. Appreciate you for jumping in. Hope you enjoy it. I'm going to just give a shout out to my sponsor real quick and use the product while I'm here. It's Smelling Salts, and this is the most potent bottle, the red cap. Let me take a quick whiff. Oh, ooh, that one actually had a kick. These are, oh, got my eye too. These are wearing out a little bit, but but it works, and it keeps you awake and alert. So thank you to Noctane. There's a bunch of different, there's 3 different potencies and a bunch of different scents you can add to it to make it smell a little better while also being effective. So check it out. Scan that QR code on the screen or click the link in the description below. Appreciate that sponsorship, Noctane. And before I get into anything else, let's just jump right in to what we're here for and get started. Appreciate you guys for jumping in. Let's get going. And let's start with this. I don't know if you guys heard about this shit, but nothing like seeing something new from our favorite MMA menace. Fucking Jon Jones is at it again, and he's got a big fuck you going out to everybody. Did you guys see this? I'm sure you did. It was all over the place. But if you didn't see it, well, I'm about to talk about it, and there's a video to go with it, and I'm gonna bring that up here in just a second. Classic Jones, can't even hate him anymore. I don't know what to think about this one, man. I don't know, because at first I was like, fucking Jones, man, this guy's such a dick. So he just doesn't get it, man. He fucking, and he always has an excuse or an explanation. And sometimes you're like, fuck, man, like, do I believe him? Because I mean, the explanation is actually not bad, and I could see it being that way. But at the same time, he's just a dumbass. Like, of course, I get it. He can kick the shit out of anybody he sees on the street, damn near, right? But he's always getting into some shit, and sometimes you just got to keep it low key. You just got to keep it low key and chill the fuck out. But not this time. Not this time. And we've seen this from him in the past. He's not bulletproof. That's for damn sure. That is for damn sure. But before I go too much further into talking about it, let's just get to the video, because I mean, it's short. I will tell you in the beginning, it's the fucking AI stupid voice talking for what the guy wrote on the screen. I hate that voice. It's annoying as shit, but I left it in there because it reads out what it says. Let's just get to it. Here we go. The guy in the video is wearing meta glasses, by the way, which is why the video is a bit shaky. You'll see. Here we go.
Moicano, dude in a black Ford SVT. Pickup truck swerved 3 times. Into my lane, almost hits my Nissan 1.8 OSX. So I flip him off, then this happens.
Here we go.
What, bro? Trying to get into? You're almost fucking hitting me, bro.
Uh-oh. There we go.
You gotta calm down, bro.
Yeah, bro, you gotta learn how to drive, bro. You
gotta relax yourself, bro.
You're almost hitting me with your truck, bro. You're almost hitting me, bro. What the fuck? In my fucking lane and shit, bro. Come on.
So, I mean, he got a water gun on him. Yeah, I said uh-oh because it paused, but then I forgot that it was pausing because in the video he's explaining, oh, Antoine, hold on, man.
Smoke weed every day.
There you go. Jones is not in this world in this clip, let's say. Yeah, you see how he said, yeah, man, that's a good shout there, Tyler. Yeah, it is. You got to be careful with these meta glasses, man, because people have those on, you won't even fucking know. But here, I'll give you this. I'll give it to this guy here, because he jumps out of his fucking car. All right, he jumps out of his car and goes, "What's up, man? What you trying to get into?" And it's like, bro, if you see Jon Jones approaching you, what the fuck? This dude's got some balls, or he's just straight stupid. But I guess he wasn't backing down, because then Jones approaches and he keeps talking. And, again, stupid or not, I give the guy some credit for the fact that Jones is walking away. What he put in the video was he might be packing a gun. And, and he continues to say something when Jones is walking away, being like, hey, but, you need to learn how to fucking drive or some shit. Like, damn, man, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure that I would have continued to say anything. But at the same time, he's walking away. You kind of got lucky, but you also kind of are a little bit stupid. You think Jon was drunk? I think he might have been under the influence of something, whether it's alcohol or something else or both. I don't know. This is what this guy, Brian Beltran, says. If you listen to him in the video, You can kind of tell he's from New Mexico if you've ever seen any of those videos of dudes from New Mexico and how they talk. It's kind of funny. But driving up Central close to Eubank when I was almost hit 3 times by the truck, even after I revved my car at him the first time. It almost happened. He still almost hit me twice after, so I flipped him off. Then he proceeded to stop in the middle of the road, back up, and come into the same parking lot. That's when you know some shit's about to go down. The night before, another guy in a truck pulled out in front of me, so this was pretty annoying considering it was the second time a guy in a truck can't drive. I guess those are Albuquerque drivers for you. Stay safe. By the way, I know it's John Jones. I didn't know who it was when I flipped him off, but definitely realized who it was quickly. No hate or hard feelings towards my guy John, but I think he might need to take some driving classes because I think he meant to say he almost hit me multiple times. Hopefully soon I make another video where we can maybe shake hands and squash the beef, lol. And then he added an edit in there and he said, all of you with John's meat in your mouth, relax. It ain't that deep. I know he was a world champion, and no, I don't think I could beat him in a fight, lol. But like I said, he should still be more careful. Being famous or trained doesn't matter when it comes to someone pulling a trigger. Anything can happen, and like I said, I don't carry and didn't try anything, so I'm not someone to worry about. So take a break from hopping on his shit. Oh, and he said all this because I went into the comments and yeah, people were like, are you fucking dumb? Like, that's John Jones and you want to keep talking shit? Are you fucking stupid? And they're like, oh, he's the champ. He could do whatever he wants. You know, all these John Jones dick riders, they're like, oh, the GOAT can do what he wants and the GOAT does whatever he wants to and all this shit. And people were like, oh, you know, you thought he had a gun and yet you kept talking. How stupid are you? Like, I get it, man, but holy shit. How does Jones still have a license? Yeah, why doesn't this motherfucker just find a friend that can drive him around and you pay him? There's a lot of dudes out there that'll do that. They'll just drive you around. They ain't got nothing better to do. He might have wanted a payday. Maybe. Do you think it's his nature or the damage from fighting on his brain? I think it's a little bit of both. We know how much he loves God. See, that's the thing, man. That's what gets me, because it's like he talks so much about, you know, God this and God that and religion and everything and about being a better man. But, you know, I don't feel like this is very religious of him, very God-bearing of him. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. I don't cry. I just wear meta glasses and drive a Mustang and rev the engine. Oh, I don't carry. I just said don't cry. See, that is the thing, Tyler. You know, like, this guy... Who knows? He could have been fucking with John, which is why I said in the beginning, I don't know how to feel about this, but we do know John Jones's track record. He's always getting himself into some shit. So that's why it doesn't surprise me if it was just Jones being a dickhead. And also, what would keep him from stopping and pulling in somewhere? Yeah, of course, the thought of someone maybe just fucking shooting you, because you never know what someone's gonna do, right? But if someone wants to get crazy without having weapons, John Jones can handle that, and I get that too. But you know, he's got to worry about lawsuits, he's got to worry about negative things happening to his career and legally. But hey, it is what it is. He did have a response, so here it is. He said, the kid proceeded to chase my car down for 2 blocks, revving his engine and trying to intimidate me. I am glad this happened to me and not one of the senior citizens in our community. I'm proud of myself for standing up for myself and not allowing that kid that kind of bullying or intimidation. Okay, this is where he fucking loses me, okay? Because like I said, he always has some kind of explanation or excuse, all right? He's pandering to the fucking playing the victim because he says, I'm glad this didn't happen to one of the senior citizens in our community. Bro, you're the one that fucking wraps your car around fucking trees. You're the one hitting pregnant women and running from the scenes. You're the one shooting off your gun in the middle of the fucking street. That stray could fucking hit an old person, a senior citizen in the community. And then you're proud of yourself for standing up for yourself. Motherfucker, you're a world champion. What the fuck are you saying? You don't need to stand up for yourself. Not to mention allowing that kind of bullying or intimidate. You ain't being bullied or intimidated by nobody. What the fuck are you saying? What are you saying? Like,
Get your fucking shit together, my God.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, that's just some victim mentality bullshit right there. Like, and how are you the victim? You know what I mean? Sure, you're gonna get this negative publicity, you know, he's pandering to everyone fucking being on his side too with the meta glasses and all that. But fucking John, like, I hate his responses always. His stupid attempts at, you know, PR, better PR, when he's the one causing the bad PR for himself. And that's why I get on Jones about it. That's why I feel the way I feel about it, because no matter what, he causes so much shit in that city. Speeding, fucking, you know, causing issues with cops, drunk driving. Motherfucker's been caught doing all this shit. And what the fuck you mean? Like, he's the one that could be causing trouble to the senior citizens of the community. And you want to talk like you're the fucking hero. What a fucking hero. You're such a hero, John Jones. Fucking, do you think we ever see him fight again? I don't know, man.
What's happening with you, man?
At this point, I don't even fucking know. You know, John Jones is such a goddamn wild card, and that's why they didn't want him on the White House card. I don't know. At this point, like, is this the beginning of seeing the spiraling John Jones? I would have thought we'd see something like this far closer to John Jones is fighting his own demons. Yeah. I would have thought we'd see this far closer to the time that he got denied on the White House card, when he was sulking in his bed talking about, you know, wondering how this is my life right now. It's just like, I feel bad for the dude, don't get me wrong. Everybody has the right to feel bad for themselves and feel down, and you know, it's always good to talk to somebody about that and shit like that. But I mean, he does these things, man. He just has a track record, and it's tough to get past that, and it's tough to give him the benefit of the doubt. So that's the only reason why I go in on him like that. There's a price you have to pay to be the greatest martial artist of all time. I don't think there's plenty of great martial artists in this world that are role model. Like, you don't have to be a role model, but you definitely don't need to have it get to you. You know, this is just the type of person. He's the type of person to beat his wife. He's the type of person to, you know, yeah, you can make mistakes and you can get forgiven, but when the cycle never ends, you just know what kind of guy he is. And I do feel bad for him to a certain extent. What's up, David Fernandez? How you doing? Welcome, and appreciate you for coming back. But you know, it's just the type of dude he is, and you know, he may feel bad for all of it, but he continuously does it and keeps it going, and it just never ends. So yeah, this guy in this fucking car could be an asshole. And you know, he's lucky he didn't get his ass whooped or worse that night, because as much as he's telling John Jones that he should be careful because you know, people, you never know what people can have, that fool should be careful too, because he was doing most of that talking. So I gotta say, that guy needs to watch his back too, because you want to go out there and act like a little dickhead revving your engine at people. Well, some guys might not even get out their vehicle. Some guys might fucking take care of that shit while they're in their vehicle, whether that be running you off the road and crashing that pretty little car you think you have, or, you know, taking you out from their driver's seat, or having a passenger do it. That type of shit happens too. We all got to think about it, because we're all men out there, right, that want to fucking stand up for whatever we feel like we're getting bullied on. But you got to be careful, and you got to think about it. It's going to be the wrong one someday. Yeah, I mean, that's always the case, right? You always got to think about that. I'm not free and clear of not doing dumb shit myself. So, you know, I get it. We're all guilty of it at some point or another. But John Jones has just been doing it for far too long, and he just doesn't seem to ever stop. It goes away for a while. We don't hear about things, but other people that live around that area always say that they always see John Jones up to some crazy shit. So, you know, do you think by the 2040s and 50s? I mean, he's always going to be the guy loved for his skills and his accolades, always. But there's always going to be the people that question, you know, whether he was really that great or not, whether he really deserved to have all of the things that were handed to him or not. I think that this bad boy persona outside of fighting is always going to follow him as well because, yeah, because all you have to do is look into him a little bit and you'll find out. Just like the fans that don't know about how the UFC used to be, also there's fans out there that don't know the types of shit that Jon Jones has gotten into, which is why I understand there's millions of new fans here. But they, you know, yeah, I don't know. It could go both ways. I think he's going to be praised for everything he's done in the sport. But there's also things questionable that he's done in the sport as well. So it's going to be a mixed bag of things, just like the rest of the guys that have ever dropped dirty, that have been champions or anything like that. So it is what it is. But anyway, like Tiger Woods, yeah, exactly. Tiger Woods is always going to be looked at as a legend. There's nobody's taking that away from him. He's not a legend because he, you know, has crashed a bunch of vehicles and can't seem to get his shit together. And neither is Jon Jones not a legend, but you know, there's always going to be this shit hanging over his head, this black cloud, because of all the dumb shit he does outside. Yeah, Tiger Woods and fucking Jon Jones are the ones that need a driver more than anybody. Oh man, he's gonna do that one Netflix documentary like MJ did. Oh yeah, I think someone's gonna do a documentary on him, and it might not be so flattering one day, because there's got to be some people out there that are more than willing to talk negatively about Jon Jones. And I feel like if he's doing this to people out in the open, and so openly just doing it regardless of cameras or anything like that, I'm pretty sure he's doing this to people on the down low where there is no cameras and fucking with people like that too. So who knows? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But you know, this is just all we have to go off of with Jon Jones, and yeah, it is what it is. I wish he was better like he said he was, but he just continuously does shit. So this one's a little bit questionable, I guess, considering the guy that posted it and all that. But just Jon Jones back to the same antics. We had to talk about it. Anyway, let's hit up this boxing before we go any further and do the recap. We had Wilder versus Chisora happened this weekend, and it sounded like a great fight. I didn't get to watch it all. I did see a couple of highlights and stuff like that, but it sounded like a pretty fun fight. I was following the chat for Combat Sports today. They were talking about it, and yeah, it sounded like a pretty good fight. But I saw that Wilder caught a couple knockdowns. I think what was it, the eighth round? The eighth round, he scored a couple knockdowns on Chisora. And you know, Wilder lives up to that name, man. That Wilder name. He's definitely wild with his punches. You know, that's what I talked about last time, is I think Wilder's just one of those wild guys that has the reach and the strength and the power, and he's able to catch guys, awkward style and everything. You know, he's got technique, of course, as well, but it just seems like the chaotic and wild punches being thrown is, you know, what gets him the wins and the big knockdowns and stuff like that. But it was the 50th professional appearance for both fighters. Damn, I didn't even see that. And apparently Chisora was talking about retirement, but he didn't actually confirm that. Overhand right is brutal. It is for sure. And here's a couple of those punches that landed. That straight left looked pretty nasty. And of course you got the spray coming out on that top picture as well. But yeah, he scored the 2 knockdowns in the 8th round. He was also deducted a point for pushing, apparently. So that's, I mean, that was an active 8th round. And then in the 11th round, Chisora caught some kind of a knockdown of his own. But the fight just went to the judges, and Wilder got the split decision win, with 2 judges giving it to him, 115 to 111 and 115 to 113 for Wilder, 112 to 115 for Chisora, for the one judge that scored it for Chisora. But yeah, so that's how that fight went down. It seemed like a good fight. I kind of wish I would have been able to see it, but I did not. So we got another. I gotta fix my chats are all, the one thing I forgot to do was go back and fix the chat pop-ups that I had fixed so that we could see something from the chats. So there we go. We'll move that out of the way. I'm sure we'll come by a couple more, but at least it looks like I have the chat box working again like it should. So let's move on and yeah, for sure. Let's move on and get to this recap of UFC Vegas 115, where we had Renato Moicano versus Chris Duncan. And as I was saying earlier, it just seemed like, do I still believe in Deontay? I mean, he's older now, man. He's like 40 years old or whatever. I think he still has some fight in him, but I just don't know how well he would do against, you know, I don't know. I mean, Chisora is pretty good. I don't know. I wish I knew more. I think Deontay still has some fight in him, but is it going to be at the extremely highest level of championship level? I don't know. But I think he has some good fights left in him, and we'll see how much longer he sticks around and fights. But, you know, he is older, like I said, so it's tough. It gets tough out there. But yeah, moving on to Moicano versus Duncan. And like I said earlier, Moicano, you know, was saying it wasn't really the greatest matchup for him. He didn't really think that was the best opponent for him, but you know, he's on a 2-fight losing streak. Not anymore, but he was. Spoiler there, but I'm sure we all know by now. And you know, like I said, this fight was pretty good. I think we had, let me count these real quick because I hadn't actually counted them. We started off with a couple decisions, then we had 4 finishes in a row, another couple decisions, and then 3 finishes, so that's 7. 8 finishes, so 1 less than last week where we had 9 finishes out of the entire card. So that's pretty damn good, man. Especially considering every time we seem to get Apex cards, they don't tend to be very interesting. We get a bunch of decisions. We get like 2 finishes, if any. So yeah, not bad. 2 weeks in a row with 8 or more finishes on the fight card out of like what? How many fights were there? 12, 13 fights. 8 or 9 out of 13 is pretty damn good for finishes. So I gotta eat my words on talking shit about this card last week or on Thursday, but that's okay. I'd rather be wrong in this manner than be correct and it being completely shitty. So yeah, two decent cards. Last week's card I think was better than this one, but this one was pretty close. So yeah, let's get to this let's go with the main card. Like I said, we're starting with the main card. First fight on the main card will lead up to the main event, and then we'll hit up those prelims and you know, recap those before we get out of here. So starting off with Jose Delano versus Robert Uchula, and this one with the distance, we had a unanimous decision win for Jose Delano, and you know, first appearance in the UFC, making his debut, and he picks up a unanimous decision win. It was a pretty competitive fight, you know, it's not like it was a fully one-sided fight, and Delano comes out with the win. He had some pretty good, you know, consistency over 3 rounds that kept him, you know, on top and basically made it clear that he was the winner at the end of the fight. But I was thinking that hardcore fans are just desensitized. It's kind of like when you grow up watching the NBA knowing all the players, and when some get older they just don't like the new guys. Nah, yeah, I mean, there is some of that with some of us hardcores that that just remember the old days. But I try to keep an open mind to all of the newer fighters, and the way that this is why, you know, before I did that episode where I said I was done, you know, sticking up for the UFC and defending them, I just kind of kept an open mind, as in, listen, the game's going to change, the organization's going to change, the fighters are going to change, and you kind of have to roll with the punches. There's always going to be something or someone new, and it, you know, you have to kind of just roll with it and see where it goes. But it kept deteriorating to the point where you just couldn't avoid talking about it and you just couldn't ignore it anymore. So That's why I kind of did the little crash out video or episode I did about, you know, the UFC and everything. But of course, then it bounces back and it just makes everybody look like a bunch of crybabies, because then we get a couple good cards in a row. But you know, they still have to fill these amount of cards that they need to fill, and we're bound to get bad ones down the road too. But let's hope that this this marks the beginning of a great streak of good fight cards coming up, good to great fight cards. I know that with the exception of the fight that fell out, you know, this card coming up for next week seems really damn good too. So 78 Northwest said, I'm surprised by the fence grab deduction. Yeah. And you know, that's kind of what they should be doing. Like the fouls and the illegal things that have been happening a lot in the past few fight cards. You know, if they would just take a point away right away, just get it done, maybe they would think twice about doing it. Like if they get, you know, they're taking a chance by getting caught. So if you get caught, I feel like you should just get that point taken. And yeah, I know that can affect fights in a major way. But like, if you keep going for inside kicks or body kicks and you keep hitting that cup, maybe you shouldn't be kicking there anymore, because you're going to get a point deducted or disqualified if you do it too many times. And maybe that would help some guys keep their fingers in as well for those eye pokes. You do it once and you get a point deducted. Is anybody going to care, or are they going to be a little more cautious? And yes, that might change the outcome of the fight, but I think that's what needs to happen, because these fouls are changing the outcomes of the fights. Look at the fight we lost between Aspinall and Gone because of the damn eye pokes. Now, everyone wants to say that Gone was gonna on the road to beating Aspinall easily because of him gassing him out and busting his nose open and doing this and doing that, but we'll never know. We'll never know, because he couldn't keep his fucking fingers curled into a fist. Instead, he's poking motherfuckers in the eyes multiple times, causing the current heavyweight champ to be out forever due to surgeries and shit. So take the fucking points away. And if they don't care after that, well, then they're going to lose every damn fight if it's even close, because they're going to have points taken away. So, see, for me, I think the UFC delivers about 90% of the time. Lately, with these past couple cards, yeah, but if you compare it to the way it was a few years back, I would say no, it doesn't. Not 90%. I would give it 60 or 65, maybe 70 tops, but I would not say 90%. Most of the times we get all the fights we want to see. That's not the case in NBA, NFL. We get unwanted matchups in the NBA finals and Super Bowls. Yeah, but those are decided differently. They play the game to get there. What's up, Tommy? What's up, Magix? Appreciate you guys for jumping in. The NBA and NFL, they play the games to get there. They don't just get those matchups made for them. They have to earn those matchups by winning the games. So, you know, that's different. That's what makes the NFL, the NBA different. What's up, PVG? So, like, I feel like you can't really compare those. You don't get the matchups you want to see because you have a favorite team. You have a favorite team, and if your team doesn't make it there, that's because they didn't play well enough to make it there, or they lost too many games, or they lost the important game. Like the U of A lost the important game on Saturday to not make it past the Final Four. So that's why I'm not getting the matchup I want to see, because they fucking lost. The UFC's making these matchups. So sure, they're making, you know, they're not making all the matchups we want to see. There's been, I can think over the past couple of years, there's been too many times where we haven't gotten the matchups we wanted. It's not as bad as boxing, but that's been the thing that they have been, that's the thing that everybody has a problem with now, is that they're starting to slowly not make the matchups that they should be making. And that's what's making these cards not be great. I mean, if you just think about a couple weeks ago when we had this whole discussion about how horrible it was getting. So, and that's because the fights were bad, the matchups were bad, everything was bad. Now it can change quickly because we got a couple fight cards in a row here that have been great, and we're leading into another numbered event that's going to be great, or has really, really good potential. On paper, it is a great card, and it has a lot of potential to be a great card. Now we already lost one fight off of it. That sucks. And it was the co-main event and a title fight. but we still have a great card on our hands. Is it going to pull through because of the way that these past 2 cards have gone? Are we going to compare it, and are we overhyping it? And in comparison to these past 2 cards that have been surprisingly great, and then 327 winds up flopping, I don't know. That's the chance we take in overhyping things, because the other matchups have been not great. So, but then we get surprised by these 2 cards in a row that happen, and now we're expecting everything to be great again, and then we get a flop of a card, and it might suck, especially on a numbered event. That's when things get weird again. So, I mean, those are just my thoughts on the whole process of that. And yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, the point deduction was crazy. Ruchella grappling I mix up grappling and grabbing the fence gets a point deducted. So we get 30-26 and 29-27 times 2 for the scorecards, with Delano getting the win, and Ruchella taking that loss. So Delano is 1-0 in the UFC now. Ruchella goes down to 0-2 in the UFC. He lost to William Gomez in his last fight by unanimous decision as well. So he's gonna have to figure out how to get out of that losing streak that he's on. Now that it's 2 in a row for him, that's tough. Next up, we got what some people are saying is one of our next superstars. And yeah, I feel you on the Arizona example. I say that because the NCAA championship, most people wanted Arizona and UConn, but we won't get it. Versus the UFC, they can just make the fight, but they don't. That kind of makes it worse. Like the champion can fight number 10 and stuff like that. Yeah, they can make those fights, but I'll tell you right now, you put the champion against number 10 in the heavyweight division, and everyone's gonna fucking riot. Everyone's gonna be pissed. I mean, unless that's a fight we're asking for, no one's gonna be happy about that. And that's what I'm saying. They're making the bad matchups, but they can make the matchups, but they're making the bad matchups instead of the good ones recently. And that's kind of where I was going with that. So next up, we got Tommy McMillan versus Manolo Zucchini. I thought it was hilarious how Bisbee kept saying zucchini. It's like, bro, that is not his name. But I guess it's close enough. But yeah, this was a hell of a fight. It got fight of the night, so they both get $100,000 bonus. Good for them on that one. Tommy McMillan is one of those guys. He's a flashy guy. You know, he's got all the tattoos. He's got the crazy hair. Pantoja defend the belt against a newcomer. Anything is possible. You mean for matchups? Is that what you're saying? Or yeah, I'm not sure. But McMillan, and he's flashy, as in he talks a lot of shit. He does a lot of crazy antics out there, and you know, he's Tommy the Gun McMillan or whatever. So he's got the nickname, and you know, he's trying to be a 2.0 version of Sean O'Malley, and he works with Sugar Sean. So I'm surprised that he doesn't come out there. Oh, I see, Johnny. Yeah, you're playing off that. Yeah, for sure. I agree. An unranked heavyweight might get a title shot next year. Yeah. And that has a lot to do with the fucking, I guess that was a bad example, because that has a lot to do with the depth of the heavyweight division not being great, and there just not being enough really good heavyweights. So that's even more possible there. But for the most title fights, we get the ones we want. Like he wanted Ilya versus Patty. Patty was gonna get the fight before the divorce. Yeah, I can't believe McMillan and shoulder replacement and moves as well as he does. Yeah, that shit is crazy. That shit is crazy for sure. He is wild. And somebody posed a question like, do you guys really think that McMillan is really that good? And I said, and this was, in a chat that I'm in, and I said, listen, I feel like he's good right now against the opponents he's facing right now. I feel like he's too wild and too just chaotic to face a higher level opponent that has a better fight IQ, and to continue to be winning like this. He gets hit too much as well. But he's one of those, he's kind of like a Justin Gaethje where he gets hit a lot but he still wins. but can he do that against higher level competition? We've seen Justin Gaethje lose and win to higher level competition with that same kind of fight plan. Now, when he cleaned it up a little more, he got a little more consistent beating the higher level guys. So I want to see that out of McMillan before I can say, yes, I do definitely think he's a rising star that has a lot of potential. I mean, I think he's that anyway, but I don't have a lot of confidence in that. You just have to continue drinking Miller Lite beer and he'll be fine. Yeah. Yeah. Holy shit. But you know, I thought it was he's definitely, you know, in tune with the zeitgeist of things. You know, he's like saying some shit that Drake said in his post-fight interview. You know, I don't know if you guys saw that, you know, the meme of Drake. I should have actually clipped that and brought it in to play it, because I thought it was kind of funny, kind of clever, and that's the kind of shit, you know, to have a little bit of a character on the mic as well after. Now, Renato Moicano has a different kind of character on the mic. He always talks about some real world shit or some financial shit, and you know, he does it with so much passion that you're like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? But he's also gets you hyped up, but at the same time you're like, why do I give a shit about this? So it's kind of tough to follow with Moicano because English is his second language as well. So that's what makes it even tougher, because he starts talking about Bitcoin and he's saying Bitchcoin, and you're like, why is this dude saying bitch every other second? But Dana, Mick, and Hunter probably love it. Yeah, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. So yeah, but he's, you know, he's a character on the mic. And you know, obviously you just look at the guy, but and he has some skills. He does have some skills, you know. First round TKO win over Manolo Zucchini after he got touched up in the beginning of the round. You know, it went 3 minutes and 57 seconds in, and you know, instead of leaning on the wrestling background that he has, he just went into chaotic like defense. Who needs defense? I'm just gonna win the slugfest, and that's it. Turned into that, trading heavy shots from the get-go. Really, the difference is that McMillan was just hitting harder and more often than Zucchini was, and you know, he was just pressing forward and catching Zucchini more than he was. So yeah, it was an entertaining fight, and McMillan continues to be undefeated. Now he's 10-0. That puts him, I mean, that was his UFC debut, so that makes him 1-0 in the UFC with a first round finish, a fight of the night bonus, obviously a finishing bonus. That's 125K off the bat without even looking at his actual fight purse, which is crazy. He made some bank, that's for damn sure, and makes a splash in the UFC. That's his first fight. You know, sometimes these guys start with some, you know, ground shattering shit, and then they dwindle off a little bit after. So it's going to be tough, and it's going to be a lot of pressure to keep it up and keep up. He's got the undefeated record. He's got the finishing, you know, just starting off his career with a quick finish in the first round, and getting fight of the night bonus. All that kind of stuff is a lot of pressure to keep going when you start moving in further into your career in the UFC. So we'll see what kind of a matchup he gets next, if he can hold up. You know, he did well in his first fight, but what does he do next? That's the thing. Zucchini, unfortunately for him, drops to 0-2 in the UFC. You know, getting dragged into that firefight just didn't bode well for him. So we'll see how he bounces back, and we'll see if he can get back in that win column or drop a third fight in a row if he gets one, and then we might have to say goodbye to him. But he got a fight of the night bonus regardless, and that's a big check for him. So great fight there. First finish of the night, and we move on to the third fight of the night, where we got another finish. Do you like the MMA Lab Camp? They're from Arizona. Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously we got Sugar Sean, or I'm sorry, the Lab. The Lab is the other one, right? Sugar came out of, he got top 10 or top 5 fighter next. Oof. The Lab is, I'm trying to remember the difference. Who else is in the fucking, hold on, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, because it's Red Hawk Academy is the one with Sugar Sean's coach, and the Lab is the one that Sean trains there sometimes with Jared Cannonier. Yeah, Cannonier, Benson Henderson, all them, right, in the lab, if I remember right. But yeah, I mean, you know, yeah, Benson, there we go. That's what I was trying to remember. I don't know why I was spacing on Benson Henderson's name, but anyway, we got Ethan Ewing coming back after beating, you know, stopping Malcolm Wellmaker from his undefeated record and finishing almost everybody in the first round with the KO. Ewing was able to take those punches from Wellmaker and hang in there and eventually defeat Malcolm Wellmaker for the first time in his career. Ethan Ewing comes in. Trayshawn Gore trains there now. Oh, nice. That's awesome. I didn't know that. But Ethan Ewing comes in fighting another undefeated fighter and hands him his first loss as well, winning the fight in the third round, a minute and 44 seconds in. And, you know, Ethan Ewing, he's definitely doing something right now. Coming in, beating undefeated guys that have impressive records and that have been, you know, doing things to win fights nonstop. Obviously, being undefeated coming in. You know, Estevam wasn't the finisher that Malcolm Wellmaker was. He had 3 wins in a row coming into this fight in the UFC. All unanimous decision wins, where 2 of his opponents missed weight even, but he was undefeated regardless, you know, and getting those wins. And Ethan Ewing comes in and stops that from the jump. You know, he was in control of this fight. He pressured Estevam. He stuffed multiple takedowns. He landed a lot of clean, heavy punches that were basically, you know, just basically walking down Estevam throughout most of the fight. And that's kind of seems to be what kind of fighter Ethan Ewing is. Estevam missed weight. Oh shit, he did, huh? Hold on. So that was him missing weight, not his opponents. Damn, so this is the 3rd time in 4 fights in UFC he's missed weight. So once you start losing and you're missing weight, I mean, now you're not undefeated anymore. That's tough. Yeah, I forgot, I got that part mixed up. But yeah, it came down to the 3rd round where Ewing was able to, you know, get him with that nasty body shot and folded Estevam, and then, you know, got the stoppage from there. So getting a let's see, did he didn't get a bonus, did he? I only see one bonus. Oh no, there's another one. I only see, no, I see 3 bonuses. Okay, I don't think he did get a bonus. And he was moving up from flyweight and still missed weight. Yeah. Yeah, Estevam. I totally forgot about Estevam with the weight cutting issues. I mean, how can you're undefeated and missing weight all the time is not good. So he definitely needs to Ethan said he's quit his job. Yeah, I hope that doesn't backfire on him, just because, you know, sometimes these guys, that pressure of you know, obviously at some point or another, they keep getting wins and stuff, they're going to quit their job. But sometimes when they focus completely on it is when things start going downhill a little bit. It's almost like overtraining, you know what I mean? But if he can get past that little, you know, that little hump that is sometimes there with some of these guys, he's that, you know, we kind of saw it with Malcolm Wellmaker. He quits his job in the very next fight. He loses. Not for any other reason than Ethan Ewing's just good, so I can't take it away from him. But you know, it's just one of those things that worries me a little bit, because you've seen it happen so many times before, and it's just a sad thing. But it is what it is when it comes down to it. That's kind of what you need to do, is focus completely on fighting, because if you weren't and you were still fighting and then you lose, some people might be like, well, if you focused on fighting and were a full-time fighter, you might not have lost that fight. So it could go both ways. So that's why it's a tough thing to even give a shit about. So it's good for him if he quit his job, and that means he's going to be a full-time fighter. And right now he's the undefeated record killer. You come in with an undefeated record, and Ethan Ewing, if you're fighting him, it might go away. So that's a good thing for him. We saw Jeff Neal keep his job while winning. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Jeff Neal with the Texas Roadhouse job. Anyway, it did seem, I almost read it as whining because of the H over there. I knew what you were saying, Antoine. So anyway, moving on another good fight, another finish, this time a submission. We got Abdul Rahman Yakayev versus Brenton Hibero, and Hibero being the guy who was known himself for submissions. He had more KO TKO wins by 2, but you know, has a lot of submissions as well, being a Brazilian with the jiu-jitsu. He was on a 2-fight losing streak, losing his 2 other fights by TKO in the first round, and then he comes in on this one, loses again for the 3rd time in a row in the first round, but this time loses by submission to Yakayev, who wins by submission, rear naked choke. And yeah, I mean, Rakayev continues to be undefeated as well. He's now 9-0, and that puts him at 2-0 in the UFC as well, winning both of his UFC fights in the first round, both by submission and both by rear naked choke. So next opponent better be looking out for him taking their back, because if he gets your back, he's definitely gonna get that finish, because that's what he's been doing so far in the UFC since he got here. And it was a little sketchy for Yakayev at first. Hibero did land some a clean high kick early, and you know, I think Yakayev got a little wobbled, but he kind of shrugged it off too at the same time, and just you know, flipped on it and took control of the fight. You know, he's taking control of the positions, he's landing some strikes of his own, and then takes the back and just works his way into getting that submission. So yeah, that was a good fight for him. And obviously if you win a fight, you get a 25K bonus, so that's good for him as well. Just getting the finish gets you extra money, so that's what is supposed to be giving people the motivation to get a finish. But you know, sometimes you gotta fight smarter, and that's what sucks about the extra money thing. But I guess if you don't give a shit about the money and you're just trying to work your way up, you got to just get that win, especially if you come across somebody who's not easy to finish. But regardless, at least you get an extra bonus if you get the finish, so that's good. Moving on to the women in the co-main event. Somewhat of underwhelming fight, a little bit. I mean, Virna Jandiroba is, you know, she's been involved in some decently entertaining fights, but I've seen Tabitha Ricci just be lightning quick and have some really crisp and clean striking. But you know, Virna's just been at the top of the division for a minute now, and she showed why she's been up there for so long with this fight. You know, it was grappling heavy. Jandiroba basically controlled from start to finish. Ricci's always had trouble with overwhelming grapplers, and you know, it seems like she can I don't know if Ricci will ever get over the hump. I feel like she has the potential to, but she has some kind of mental block when it comes to high level grapplers and wrestlers. She just doesn't seem to be able to stop those takedowns enough to not allow them to control her, and she needs to have that distance for her good striking, and she allows people to close the distance too much. And you know, she has her moments, and you know, she has really good movement, and early on in the fight especially, and she has some good defense at times, but you know, sometimes it's just a little too much for her, and she just can't seem to hold on to it later on into the rounds. And when she goes to decision, it you know, against somebody like this, it doesn't end well for her. So unfortunately, she's coming off the win by TKO in the second round over Amanda Ribas in her last fight, and her last loss was by unanimous decision to Yan Xiaonan. So, you know, another fighter that can control you on the ground, or on the feet, really, with Yan. But yeah, she just keeps doing this win-loss. She'll put together a couple wins, and then she'll lose, and then she'll put together another couple wins and then lose. So Tabitha Ricci's just got to lock in and find a way to, you know, string together more than a couple wins, and that'll really start getting her, you know, that'll really start propelling her further up. And as far as Virna goes, at 37, how much longer does Virna have in her prime? I would say the way she looks now, I think she has a couple more years at least. I feel like she's definitely on, trying to go on another run here. She just lost that title fight before this one to Mackenzie Dern. So I think that, before that, she was on a crazy win streak, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fight win streak, beating people like Angela Hill, Marina Rodriguez, Lupi Godinez, Amanda Lemos, and Yan Xiaonan. So she was beating some big names, and then she comes up against Mackenzie Dern and loses it for the title. It's a high level pressure fight, and Mackenzie was just a better fighter that night. So with the run she was on before the loss, I think she has a couple more years in her to try to go, on another run. And the women's division isn't that deep, so I think she has a possibility of getting back to that title shot and possibly getting her revenge on Mackenzie Dern sometime soon. But I am waiting to see who Mackenzie Dern fights next, and what's going to happen with that, if she's able to hold on to that title long enough to be able to fight Virna once again. But until then, we'll see what Jandiroba has coming up next. As far as Ricci, she's going to have to bounce back from this loss. She usually does. It's just a matter of what she does with it and what kind of opponent she gets. So that brings us over to the main event with Renato Moicano versus Chris Duncan. Moicano came out as Money Moicano finally after 2 losses in a row against a former teammate I don't think it's former. I think they're both still at American Top Team. But yeah, he comes out after 2 losses in a row. Islam Makhachev, Beneil Dariush. I feel like from January to June, it was kind of quick after, the crazy high pressure fight of fighting for the title. He comes back and tries to, bounce back from a loss for the title to get a big win and hopefully make his way back to that title fight again quickly. But unfortunately, he, loses to Beneil Dariush, who hasn't had a lot of luck since then. But, Moicano just didn't fight anymore in the rest of 2025, comes back on Saturday and gets a big win over Chris Duncan. A second round rear naked choke for him. And, Duncan didn't look horrible. But Moicano basically, I feel like he controlled this fight for the most part throughout the entire fight. Moicano's just his post-fight speech was just kind of, it was kind of crazy, kind of weird. He's always saying something on that mic after the fight. So but yeah, clean striking. He was in control on the feet, landing the better shots, dropping Duncan with the left hook before, he got him down to the ground and quickly transitioned to the back and was able to do what he does best and get that neck. It wasn't quick. Duncan did fight it off a little bit for a minute, but Moicano was able to sink that choke in, and Duncan actually tapped pretty fucking fast once that choke got sunk in. But Chris Duncan was on a decent win streak before this. I think he was on a 4-fight win streak where he won 3 out of those 4 fights by submission himself. And then he finally loses that win streak to a submission to Renato Moicano, who was on a 2-fight losing streak. So kind of a tough one for Chris Duncan, being that he was on a bit of a run there, and now he's has to slow down a little bit and see what he gets next. As far as Moicano goes, he obviously called out for a bigger, better opponent. He said this one sucked and he hated it, but he took care of business and showed why he should be getting the bigger opponent. But will he be able to match up well against that bigger name opponent or better opponent in the future? We know he has skills, and we know that he's been on some decent runs before and had some great fights. But he was on that losing streak for a minute. Now he's back with a big win and a finish. So we'll see. He busted up Duncan too. You can see it in that top picture. But maybe Duncan just isn't on his level. I don't know. But he was on a 4-fight win streak regardless. So we'll see what kind of opponent Moicano gets, and if he keeps up on the upswing, or if he loses again to another big name. So that wraps it up for the main card. Let's take a look at these prelims before we get out of here. And we'll start with the first fight on the prelims, and that was Kai Kamaka versus Hope. What was his first name again? Damn it. Let me get to it real quick. Dakota Hope. Yeah, I should have known that because it doesn't fit him. I feel like Dakota Hope should be the name of some long-haired hippie looking dude that has some weird awkward tattoos. You know what I'm saying? Like Dakota Hope does not seem like some really ripped black dude. It just doesn't. It's a weird one. But Kai Kamaka, man, after not being in the UFC for a minute, comes back and you know, it didn't look good for him at first. It was a back and forth fight with the striking, but Kamaka seemed to you know, let his experience speak for him, and he got the cleaner striking and was able to come out with a win here by decision over Dakota Hope. So yeah, that's a good win for Kai. It wasn't looking good for him at first, so I will say that first round was rough for Dakota. He had hope. What I remember, he turned down the 200K from that lawsuit. Oh yeah. I was happy for Kai. Coming back from getting cut is so hard to do that mentally. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, man. Shit. He came back and he did a damn good job. You know, obviously, like I said, he had trouble in the beginning. So against another higher level opponent, it might be a little tougher for him. But for now, he's back in the UFC and gets back in with a win over a guy making his UFC debut who was on a decent win streak, five-fight win streak coming into this one. And yeah, he gets the win. So congrats to Kai for that one. Split decision win there. Next up, back to the women. We had Dione Barbosa versus Melissa Gatto. Holy shit, man. The illegal kick in this one, oh my god, it was like a baseball bat hitting the shit out of somebody. That kick was nasty, man. And I mean, I get it. So there was, you know, the controversy as to, you know, I heard some people saying, listen, it looked more like it went across her neck and her chest than it did against, you know, her chin. But I mean, even if it clipped her chin a little bit, like, damn. What ounce gloves did you use? I had 4-ounce gloves, but I also had like just the regular bag gloves. I think those are like 6 or 8 ounce, and then I had some 10-ounce and 12-ounce gloves as well, just some regular boxing ones. So I would use kind of a combination of all of them, and if I was really mad that day, I would just go out there and hit it with my bare knuckles like a dumbass. But it felt good sometimes to do that, you know what I'm saying? So but most of the time I would use those bag gloves that were probably like 6 or 8 ounce gloves, just kind of look like mitts, you know, that would just cover, but you could still extend your hand a little bit. Would you hook the bag or jab? I would do all of it, actually. I mean, I did some boxing stuff back in the day, so I kind of knew some combinations and shit like that. Sometimes if I just needed to blow off some steam, I'd just go out there and fucking I liked throwing my left hand, though. I do like throwing combos, lefts and rights, because I feel like if you can't hit with your left hand, then you can't really fight. You got to be able to hit with both hands. So for me, I would try to hit with my left a lot too. I would practice with that. I would throw some kicks too. I mean, I think it was a 100-pound heavy bag. It was like one of those like gel kind of outer sorts of bags, but I would do everything. I had a speed bag too. I wasn't the best at it, but I was getting the hang of it. I actually have it in my storage. I don't have it out anymore because I'm in a different house with different spacage and stuff. So maybe one day I'll bust it back out and get to it again, but for now it's been put away for a little bit. Anyway, that illegal kick was nasty, man. And like I said, there was a controversy over whether it hit her in the neck and the chest, or if it actually hit her in the head. I heard somebody saying, hey, I think that was legal because the knee was coming up off the mat and you only had to have one, or some shit like that. I don't know. It was all over the place. Everyone had something to say about it. Regardless, she got the point taken. It was an illegal kick. And it's, Gatto pulled a Macy Barber. If you notice, it looked like she went flopping and she was fine, and then all of a sudden she just rolled over on her back and looked to the side and was like out, which was kind of crazy. Why this fight continued, I don't know. That seemed kind of weird. Why would the fight continue if she got knocked out legitimately? Did anybody like think about that? Did anybody fucking catch that? Did anybody fucking think that maybe if she was knocked out, that should have been a DQ or just a no contest at that point? Like, I think that should have been, if they're gonna deduct a point and she gets knocked out, you shouldn't continue the fight, so that should be a DQ. That's my thoughts on the whole thing. Because, you know, if you get kicked on the side of the neck and maybe it grazed her chin too, I mean, if she gets knocked out, she gets knocked out regardless. It was an awkward style knockout, like I said with the Macy Barber one last week. But Barber was out for a minute. Gato came too quickly, but she still did the same kind of flop and strange kind of way of falling back and looking like she's out. So it was a weird situation all the way through, but Barboza did well throughout that fight. You know, she did wind up coming in with a majority decision win. It was a weird fight, but besides all the debate and everything like that, Barboza comes out with the win, and it was weird. What's the hardest strike you ever took in sparring? I never really did a whole lot of sparring. I actually I guess you could call it sparring. Me and my buddy, he's actually been in here before, Marshall, for the watch parties. He's actually been here before, but me and him way back in the day, we were both taking boxing classes, and we put on like a bunch of dumbasses. We were in our 20s. I had a pretty big backyard, and we put on MMA gloves and headgear, and we went outside and we were just basically sparring in the backyard. And I mean, it wasn't even sparring, we were fighting, and we didn't have any animosity towards each other. Maybe he had some pent-up animosity towards me, but he's not really that type of guy. And for me, I was just trying to try out the skills I had been learning, and we were legit punching each other in the fucking head. This was before it was prevalent to like record everything. I wish we would have. It probably wasn't the best techniques out there, but man, I mean, he's a smaller dude than me, and he packs a big punch, and he could take a punch. That's for damn sure. I would never say that I was ever trying to full on knock him out, like trying to knock him out, but I didn't really know how to pull my punches that much. So we were really cracking each other. And after a few times of doing that, we were both kind of like, hey man, should we keep doing this? We would just kind of go till we ran out of breath, or we would like feel like it's been a couple minutes and call a little break, and then we would start up again. I think at one point we had somebody out there with a timer. I think we only did like 3 minutes. I don't think we ever did like 5. We weren't doing MMA. We were literally boxing with MMA gloves though, because we were just like, let's do it with smaller gloves. So we did. It's kind of stupid. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, but yeah, it was, I mean, I guess it was kind of fun regardless. Oh yeah, Arizona Heat for sure. We were just sweating it out. Didn't give a fuck. In a you know, thorn infested backyard too, bunch of weeds and everything everywhere, and yeah, we just did it. And I had a birthday party one night, and we busted out the gloves, and we had a little sparring match between some randos, and I fought some dude back there one day too, and that was kind of crazy. I mean, I feel like I caught the dude more times than he caught me. He caught me like once or twice. I had to have gotten a good 5 or 6 punches on him. It was fun, and we gave each other a handshake and a hug after. I didn't even know him. Yeah, at a birthday party at my house, we took out the gloves and we were just like, fuck it, let's do it. It was weird. A couple different people had a little sparring match. It was weird. It was fun though. That was back in the day. Damn. Anyway, moving on. Barboza gets the win, you know, controversy or whatever. But yeah, moving on to Trayshawn Gore. Looking good, getting the finish in the with the whose idea was it? I don't remember, to be honest with you. We were all getting drunk, and it just kind of happened. I don't fully remember. Yeah, Infinity. Oh man, Trayshawn Gore though comes out against Azamat Bakoev and gets a 3rd round finish by submission, guillotine choke, as you can see in that bottom picture. But before that, he did some work, did some work on the feet. I mean, Gore has now, you know, he was on a 2-fight losing streak, losing by TKO in decision to Marco Tulio and Rodolfo Vieira. Finally bounces back, missed weight in his last time out and makes weight this time and gets a win by submission over Azamat Bakoev. That is the third win in a row by a guillotine, and one in the first round, one in the third round, and one in the second round. So third time in a row that he's won by submission, by guillotine. So you definitely got to watch out for that guillotine choke by Tracian Gore, that's for sure. You know, dangerous when he gets you down on the ground like that, but he was able to lock that up and get that win. So that's a good win for Tracian Gore. Next up, another fun fight, and this was from the women this time. And yeah, this time it was an illegal kick to, or a legal knee to the head, I should say, because Ellis Pineda, man, this chick, she's fucking huge, man. Like, as far as stature goes, like, she's so damn tall for a woman. She is 5'8", but in there she looks like she's about 6'2" compared to the rest of the girls. As you can see in that bottom picture, even, you know what I mean, she's got some thick legs. I mean, she's kind of thick in general, but you know what I'm saying, is that bottom picture, you know what I'm saying. But oh shit, what, I got another, hold on, let me turn this off, fixing things as I go. But yeah, jeez. Yuri, what's up, Yuri? Welcome back, appreciate you for coming back. But yeah, she definitely got those, but she's got those skills too, and she landed that big knee. Highlight reel moment, man. You could see how Cowan fell back, and then Pineda finished her on the ground, and that was it, man. Cowan drops her third straight, and that's not really the kind of streak you want to be on. I hear that, man. Thoughts on Lost Soul MMA? Not sure. I don't really know what that's about. You might have to explain, Yuri. She's a great one. She has a great one too. She definitely does. But yeah, Ellis or Haley. Oh, we're talking about Ellis Pineda, 100%. I mean, that picture on the bottom. You don't know Lost Soul MMA? I'm assuming, if I'm thinking correctly, it's another MMA YouTuber, right? Maybe. Fuck, I don't know, man. I don't keep up with this shit too much. What's the deal though? Let me know, because I'm curious now. Yes. Okay, what happened? No, I don't know what happened. I don't keep up with this shit, bro, but I'm interested, so let me know. Anyway, yeah, Ellis Pineda, we're definitely talking about her. So yeah, she got a big win here and gets the performance of the night bonus as well, so that's a nice set of cash for her, and that puts her at 1-1 in the UFC. I'm just curious if you know him. Oh, okay. You made it sound, I'm sorry. You made it sound like, I think I might have seen something of his in the past. I'm trying to think. Maybe I can look it up real quick. I'm trying to think if I've actually watched any of his stuff. Let me see. I think he's definitely one of those YouTubers I've heard of. Fuck, man, I don't know. I can't find it. Oh wait, maybe I found it. Of course there's ads and shit. Oh, that guy. Oh, okay. I mean, I think I've seen something from him before, but I don't really have any thoughts on it. I don't really keep up with all the other YouTubers, man. I don't get involved in any of that shit because I just sit here and do my own thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever they want to do is what they want to do. Not my problem. Unless somebody starts talking about me, I don't see why they would. I'm just a small guy here fucking doing my thing, and I'm not talking shit about anybody, so it is what it is. And I actually don't watch a whole lot of other people, to be honest with you either. So yeah. Anyway, next up we got Darius Flowers versus Lando Venata. And Flowers gets the win here due to an injury after damaging Venata's ribs because he fucking threw him like a goddamn ragdoll. But yeah, so Venata injures his ribs. So, 52 seconds into the second round, and obviously you could see the pain in his face on that top picture. And then Darius Flowers, takes advantage, obviously, thinks that he's just done, and finishes him with the hammer fist in the second round. But, not the cleanest finish that you want or whatever, but regardless, Darius Flowers gets the win, and damage is damage, right? So he's able to cause the injury, just kind of like Joshua Van causing the injury by, catching a kick and throwing Pantoja back just because he landed on his arm the way he did. That was on him. So Flowers capitalized on this one. Venata couldn't continue, and that is a TKO win for Darius Flowers. And last but not least, I'm sorry, not yet, we have one more, and that is did I get these in the wrong order? Because I believe I did. This was actually the last fight. This was actually, I didn't hear his speech. Are you talking about Darius Flowers? I didn't hear his speech, man. Fuck, I need to go back and listen to that, because I didn't hear anything about it. So I skipped one. I skipped Costa versus Nickel, but we'll go over that in a minute, because we had the other decision fight leading into the main card. We had the last fight on the prelim card. We had Thomas Peterson versus Guilherme Pat, and Peterson takes a majority decision. It was a slower paced fight. Pat looked good in the beginning, I felt like, but it was kind of back and forth on this one for me. I kind of felt like every time I was paying as much attention as I could to the fight, it seemed like Pat was doing better than Peterson. But you get the majority decision win out of Peterson. It wasn't the most fantastic fight. I don't feel like I missed a whole lot on that one. I actually didn't even go back and rewatch it, so that's kind of my bad. But like I said, I watched in and out. I watched it, but I didn't watch it like 100% paying attention, and I didn't go back and rewatch. So from what I saw, I thought Pat was getting doing pretty decent, but I did kind of miss the end. So maybe Peterson came back and was getting the better of the exchanges, or maybe I was just catching it at the right time for Pat to be looking good. So either way, Peterson gets a decision win there, and that leads us to the last fight, yet not the last fight. You know what I mean? I fucked it up. I fucked up the order, but whatever. We had Alexandre Costa versus Stuart Nickel. This was a fun fight, man. I feel like these guys were going back and forth, but Costa got that nasty body shot. I can't believe he snuck that thing under the punch being thrown by Nickel, and was able to land that nasty liver shot that just dropped Nickel, man. I couldn't even imagine how bad that had to hurt, the way that he dropped, and he only had 4 seconds left to get out of the round, and he gets dropped by that. It was a really precision, a really precise shot thrown by Costa. Have you ever felt a real body shot before? I don't know that I've ever felt anything that real. I have felt a body shot before that I got some cracked ribs off of, so I guess maybe. But I wasn't in my right mind at that time, so I don't really remember it. I have felt a couple body shots though that didn't feel great. So that, yeah. But that's 3 UFC wins in a row now, or 3 UFC wins for Costa, and not in a row though, I don't think. Let me take a look real fast. He did get the performance of the night bonus on that one with that nasty body shot. Yeah, so he's been on like a win-loss type of streak, but this puts every one of his wins in the UFC, he's gotten a bonus. Performance of the night bonus for this one against Stuart Nickel, a TKO win over Kevin Borjas. Performance of the night bonus there, and then a performance of the night bonus over Jimmy Flick as well. And every fight has been finished in the second round that he's won. Yeah, I did crack my ribs. That shit sucked. I don't remember, man. I got into some kind of fucking weird fight with somebody and I got cracked ribs. That's all I really remember from it. It was a really long time ago. So yeah, but the prelims, man, lots of finishes and chaotic fights, controversies, submissions, injuries, TKOs, highlight KOs, and some questionable shit here and there. The prelims had a lot of stuff going on in them, and the entire fight card had a lot of finishes. So you can't ask for much more than that. What I could ask for is for my damn fight wheel to predict fights a little better. But instead we got 2 and 4, because in the main card we had Duncan winning, or the fight wheel predicted Duncan to win, and he did not. McMillan to win, and he did. Estevam to win, but he lost. Ruchala to win, he lost. Yakayev to win, he did. And then Ricci to win, and she did not. Remember, I told you though, as these picks were coming through, I wasn't very happy with them. So unfortunately, I was correct on that, and we went 2 and 4 for the fight wheel predictions. It is what it is, but that's it when it comes to UFC Vegas 115, and that's it for us as well. I appreciate all you guys. Have you ever visited Atlanta before? No, I have not, but I sure hope to try to do that, especially now. I will be, thanks 78 Northwest, appreciate you. I will be heading somewhere near that direction when I take my daughter to drop her off. I'm not saying that I'm going to be there then, but one of these times we might do, oh damn, Infinity's going in July. That's dope. So yeah, I'm gonna try to make my way into Atlanta at some point in time with one of these trips that I take out that way. So that would be nice. I would love to go. Plans for the week, not sure, but I'm hoping it's a great one. So all right, guys, that's it for me. I appreciate everybody for being in here. Thank you guys all for joining in and contributing as always, and interacting. It always makes for a great show. And yeah, thank you all for joining again and coming back as usual. Don't forget to hit the like on the video, please. I'd appreciate that. If you can't do anything else, do that. And if you're not subscribed already, please do that as well. That's it for me. I'm out of here. Come back on Thursday for the preview of UFC 327 or whatever it is. Is it 327? Yes, UFC 327. All right, that's it for me. I'm out of here. Take it easy. Peace.